Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hey everybody, it's Monday. It's You as a Whole, Body, Mind, and Soul on USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Justin Mirigliani, your guest. And this week, I'm not going business casual. I'm going Eagles. This is an old Ron Jaworski jersey for those who remember Ron Jaworski when he played for the Eagles, old school Eagles hat. And just pumped up about the Birds. Everybody here in the city is really excited. We're in Philadelphia. I know we're going around the world, but if you don't know, if you're not well, in football, I know in other countries they call it football, what we call soccer, but in American football, the Eagles are one of the front-running teams, and it's been a while since we've won anything, so people are pretty excited around here. So yesterday was a good day. You got to win. Got to see some good friends and watch the game, have some pizza, and enjoy that. But that's not why you're here. You're here to talk about, or for me to talk about, and for you to chat in, by the way, because last week we didn't get any chatters. We need some chatters to come and chat some questions. When to go to the gym and when not to go to the gym. Now, I, as you know, am a gym rat. I mean, I've been in the gym since I was 14. I started lifting. Actually, even before that, I was about 12 when I started to lift a little bit. I mean, it wasn't really like 3-pound dumbbells. And then about 14, I started to get into it a little more. And then by the time I was 16, that's when it really started. I'm 50 now, so we're talking a long time ago. And I got into it very deeply. Like everything else that I do, people who know me know that if I'm not passionate about it, I'm going to fail. I mean, it's just the way it is. If I'm passionate about it, then there's a chance I'll be successful. It doesn't guarantee success by any means. I've been passionate about things that have not worked out at all. But if I don't have any passion, there is a 100% chance that it will fail. I can't live without passion in anything. Whether it's work, whether it's the gym, whether it's my kids, whether it's a relationship, it doesn't matter what it is. I need to have passion. That could be a curse and it could also be a blessing. Now, it's a blessing because one of the things that I preach about weightlifting is, and exercise of all kinds, not just weightlifting, but running. If you're a runner, if you are somebody who does a lot of cardio, if you're somebody who swims, whatever it is, consistency is the key. Yes, that's really the key to everything. I lost 52 pounds in 9 months. Now, was it extreme? Sure. I mean, it was very extreme. And was the diet extreme? Yes, it was an extreme diet. I'm no longer, I don't have, see, that's the one thing. You don't have to keep the same diet once you get down to the weight that you want. You can kind of start to go off it a little bit. You can't go crazy because you'll gain all the weight back. But you can kind of wean off a little bit. You don't have to be as strict as you were before. So now I'll eat a piece of pie or I'll eat, one small chocolate bar or something like that. And that's about it. And I maintain my weight over the holidays. I was 200 pounds going into the holidays. I'm 200.8 right now. So, but that includes not even being in the gym for 4 weeks. Now, if consistency is the key, why am I out of the gym for 4 weeks? Well, one thing you got to do is sometimes take a break. When you lift weights, you are actually doing micro damage to your body. That's exactly what you're doing. You're breaking the body down. You're breaking down the muscles. And the idea is that the muscles then grow back stronger and bigger than they were before. So you cannot tear them down and tear them down and tear them down and give them no time to recover. So it's not really that out of the ordinary for a weightlifter to take off a month. Now, Before I took off the month, I was I was going hard. I was going really hard. Now, I'm not going to get into numbers and brag about numbers and talk like that, but I was leg pressing really a tremendous amount of weight. And I did hurt myself. I hurt my lower back a little bit, and also sciatica in the lower back, and also down my hip. So it's been painful. I mean, there were nights early on where even in bed, just sleeping, it was painful. I had to stretch it out and try to get it to relax a little bit. And my brain and my heart. Well, I should say my heart tells me to go and get back in the gym, and who cares? And my brain tells me, don't be an idiot and make it worse, because then it'll take even longer to get back in the gym. So it's a constant fight between the heart and the brain to decide when and if to get back in the gym. And it's not a matter of if. Of course I will be. It's when do you decide to do it? What injuries are worth taking off? What injuries are not worth taking off? I've had frozen shoulder many times and have just gone right through it, just lifted right through it. Even though, yeah, it could cause damage, and I know that, I'm aware of that, but I didn't want to lose any strength or size, and that's important to me. It's something that I wanted to do since you can't start something at 16 and then at 50 say, okay, I'm done with it. It just doesn't work that way. People say, why do you still do it at 50? Does it matter? No, it really doesn't matter. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it makes no difference how big and strong I am. I'm not a professional fighter. I'm not a professional bodybuilder. It makes no difference whatsoever in the grand scheme of things. But it matters to me because it's ingrained. Did it at 16. And it was the typical story of the kid who was a scrawny kid and got sand kicked in his face and made fun of, and no chest, and tiny little garden hose arms. And then a year later I come back to school in high school and people are like, what happened to you? Like, what are you on steroids? I mean, how did you get so big? And no, it wasn't steroids. I never took a steroid in my life except for prednisone for sickness, but not I've never taken performance enhancing drugs. I'm very honest. I take tremendous amounts of protein. I take 200 grams of protein a day, including food and supplements. But it was the gym. But a lot of it is the kitchen, what you eat, because you need recovery, and again is rest. So when do you skip? Well, like I said, I took off 4 weeks for two reasons. One, because before December, before my 50th birthday, I wanted to be as cut as possible, and I was. I was absolutely shredded, and I still am. I mean, I haven't lost a whole lot of muscle. I still got my six pack. It's a little bit less, but it's not a lot less. Um, Arms are the same size, everything's the same size, but I know if I take a little more time off, that'll start to go away. So I don't have much time left before I have to go back in there. The other thing that no weightlifter likes to do is go lighter than they did before. And I know I'm gonna have to do that. I know I'm not gonna be able to go in and lift the weight that I was lifting 4 weeks ago, because if I try to do that, then there's a good chance that I'll get hurt again and then wind up missing another 4 weeks. So you have to, when you're younger, when you're in your 20s and 30s, you probably ignore injuries a lot more than you would when you're 40 or 50. I ignore injuries still to this day, and it gets me in trouble sometimes. And it's a mistake sometimes on my part to do it. I know that, and I hope that people kind of learn from my errors. I mean, I don't always practice what I preach, but I have this past month. I've really toned it down. And like I said, I haven't been in the gym at all. I haven't worked out at all. So um, now, when does an injury become an excuse? Well, if you have a slip disc, or like I have pretty severe sciatica, and it's going down your leg, and it hurts to lay in bed, yeah, it's time to sit down and take a rest. It's time to give it the chance to heal. Now, if you are just a little bit sore and you got some pain or you feel some fatigue, that is not the time to give it a rest. Now, it might be time to cut back on the weight a little bit or cut back on some of the reps. That's a possibility, but it's certainly not the time to get out of the gym, because you want to do damage to your body. That's what you're doing. I know I said it once before and I'm saying it again. You're lifting weights is actually damaging your body. you're breaking down your muscles so that they can grow back bigger and stronger than ever. And that's how it works. That's how it always worked. That's why none of these fly-by-night companies that tell you this will work or that'll work, or if you do this, you'll get bigger and stronger. The same formula works now that worked when Arnold Schwarzenegger was doing it in the 70s. And well, of course, steroids didn't hurt that they were legal back then. I mean, that obviously helped. And I could guarantee you that no matter what they say, when they say it's a natural lifting, they're not. The human body can only grow to a certain extent, and then that's it. There's no getting bigger. I mean, it's just the way it is. So professional bodybuilders who look like they are off of the Incredible Hulk, off of a comic book, even when they say they're not doing steroids, they're doing steroids. It just you can't do it. And we as natural people just can't do it. Now, my take on steroids. Would I do steroids? No, it's not worth the risk to me, because what's the gain? I'm not going to make any money off of it. I'm not going to achieve anything from it. So, do I risk heart disease? Do I take insulin and get take a chance on wrecking my pancreas, get diabetes? No, I'm not going to do that. There are plenty of steroids out there, and it's easy to get them. Very simple to get them on the internet. You can buy them, no problem. But is it worth it? Is it worth it? What's the difference? I got my arms to about what my genetics will allow. I got at one time 20-inch biceps, which is pretty close to professional level biceps. Now, I don't have the same genetics in my chest, so my chest doesn't grow like my arms do. My arms are just genetically gifted, and that's just pure luck. I mean, I was born that way. So that's hard work to get them up to 20 inches without using any PEDs, but certainly it's something that is genetically helpful. And we do have a comment, so let's see what the first comment is of the night. There's Vincent. Hey, Vincent, how you doing? Good to see you. Happy New Year. So you started back at the gym on June 17th of this year at 49.8 years old. So that's very specific. Light weights, high reps, and 5 different exercises for each body part, and it's working. Lost 30 pounds in 3 months. That's great. 30 pounds in 3 months. 10 pounds a month. Man, that is just fantastic. And he's gained muscle and definition. That is phenomenal work by Vincent. I mean, that really is hard to do. That's consistency. Now, look at what he said. Think about the date. He said June 17th, and look where he is now, right? So he had to go and he had to bust it to really get to where he is. And that's consistency. Now, what I would say to Vincent, if he ever gets sciatica like I did, or, here's an easy one to really get: frozen shoulder. I mean, when you bench press, all of us who have bench pressed before, especially heavyweight, we have gotten frozen shoulder, or we've damaged a rotator cuff. I've had x-rays on my back. I have degenerative back disease, so I'm always going to have back pain. I know that. But it's something I'm willing to live with. I'm not willing to give up on the weightlifting. I'm willing to go until I can't go anymore. I'm at 50 years old, not ready to say, let's wind it down and quit. I will go with the back injuries until I can't. And yeah, 20 years from now, will I be on a surgeon's table having my back fixed? Probably. Will I need a new hip or two knees 25 years from now? Probably. But right now, I'm not letting it happen. I'm not going to let it phase me. But when the injuries get bad enough, that's when you stop. You get in a car accident. You take a couple of days off at the gym if you banged up. You don't rush it. You don't get back in there until you're ready. Serious sprains are another one. You don't want to aggravate them, because then they don't go away. They just stay, and you just continue to hurt the same part of your body over and over and over again. And that's just not going to be conducive to getting your body in shape. If you want to be in shape, it's not. You look at power lifters. I know how impressive they are, and I'm impressed by them. Believe me, I've seen it. Like Eddie Hall, for instance. Eddie Hall deadlifted 1,100 pounds, I think, but almost died. He literally was on a gurney and had blood coming out of his nose and his ears and everywhere else. Well, yeah, it's pretty impressive that he did that, but he has to be 400 pounds almost, about 380 to do it. He's going to weigh that much to do it. So is he a strong man? Absolutely, but is it worth it? Is it worth what he's given up as far as health wise? I'm not sure. Got another comment. So this is good. We're starting off hot tonight. Let's get another one comment. There it is again. Lower back pain and sciatica. He had it 2.5 years ago and tried everything. So he said, guess what worked? Sleeping on a mechanical based bed with feet raised every night, and he slept like that for 7 hours. Now no back pain. That's great. So I might try that. I'm walking 3.5 days in 1 hour or less. It's all working, bro. Well, I hear you, Vince. That's great. That is a great point. First of all, I didn't even think about the bed thing, so that's pretty cool. I do a lot of stretching in bed. So when I'm in bed, I'm stretching my legs and doing a lot of stretching, but I don't have them raised. So I'm going to try that. The walking thing. Here's the thing. Yesterday we went on the pond right near where I'm living now, and the pond had frozen, and it was the first time in 4 weeks that I tested my leg to see if I could actually push off and skate. I didn't even know if it was going to be super painful to skate. And guess what? It felt great afterwards. I mean, the stretch of the skating, actually digging in and pushing off and stretching the leg really made it feel great. And then when I drove today, I had to drive all the way to Cherry Hill to be with my kids today, and then drive back. And in the ride in the car, no back pain at all. I didn't feel the sciatica, didn't feel any pain in the lower back, and that's been an issue. I mean, most of the time when I drive for more than a half an hour, the pain starts to ratchet up a little bit in my lower back and in my hip, but I didn't have that today. Now, if I flex my leg and I squeeze my muscles in my leg, I could feel some things in my right leg, but it's not terrible. So tomorrow, here's another example. I'm having an endoscopy done. Endoscopy is when they go in with a tube through your throat and they go down into your esophagus, your duodenum, and your stomach to make sure that everything's working okay. And of course, as most of you know, I had ulcerative colitis for 12 years and had curative surgery. And we always check to make sure that it's not Crohn's, because Crohn's and colitis are very close. And there is no test that definitively tells you whether you have Crohn's or colitis. There is a test that can tell you that you definitely have Crohn's, and then they know you have Crohn's. But there's no test that can tell you with 100% accuracy that you only had colitis. And when I say only, why do I say only? Because colitis is only in your colon. If you don't have a colon, or if you have part of your colon removed, then you can't have colitis. Now, Crohn's disease, unfortunately, it can be anywhere in the digestive tract. So it could be in the mouth, it could be in the rectum, it could be in the anus, it could be in the esophagus, it could be in the stomach, duodenum, it could be anywhere along there. So tomorrow's test for me is going to be to check to see if there's any inflammation anywhere. And last 3 tests have come back pretty well. I mean, I don't have Crohn's. I did have people think gastritis is gas, like you have to pass gas. That's not what gastritis is. Itis, inflammation. That's all that means, itis. It doesn't mean what people think gastritis means, like you have a gas attack and you have to let go gas. No, it means that your stomach, your gastric, it's your stomach, gastritis. It's inflamed. So I've had inflammation in the stomach for years, but it's not so bad. It hasn't been terrible. My esophagus is good, but they're gonna have to knock me out tomorrow. Believe me, you do want to be knocked out for this. I can tell you from experience. I've had a lot of things happen to me in my life. I've lost teeth from getting hit with a hockey puck. I've never had my nose broken, never broke a bone, but I've had frozen shoulder. I've had rotator cuff injuries. I've had concussions. I've had stitches, all kinds of things, dehydration and collapsed. And one of the worst pains I ever felt was waking up during an endoscopy. And I was so sick at the time, they couldn't put me out enough. And I woke up in the middle of the endoscopy, and the pain was incredible. It felt like, if you think about swallowing a roll of quarters and it's stuck in your chest, that's what it felt like. it was just an absolute murderous pain. And I remember, as weak as I was, and I was really weak, it took 4 or 5 nurses and doctors to pin me to the bed, because your first instinct, it's just instinct, is to get up and try to breathe, is to try to get air. And there is just no way that I could lay there. And they were just trying to get me down and be like, give them more juice, put them out. So will I go to the gym tomorrow? No, because I'll be coming off anesthesia, propofol. So again, it's not a cop out. I don't feel like I'm skipping the gym tomorrow. I'm just not going to go because I'm having a procedure done. And crazy thing is, a procedure like that really lasts only about 15, 20 minutes and it's over. That's it. So you're only out for a short amount of time. When you wake up, you feel like you've been out for 3 years, but that's not long at all. And you need a driver. So I'll have somebody driving me home tomorrow. So that's a day to skip the gym. That's not a cop out. But too many people use cop outs, and like, well, it's the holidays. That's one of the cop outs I hear. So what? If it's January or it's December 27th or whatever, and I could see the 26th. Maybe you're tired because it's the day after Christmas, and you're like, you know what? I'm just weird. I ate a ton yesterday, and I just don't feel like working out today. I want to sleep and watch Christmas movies. And that's what I did with my family this Christmas. Um, Even if I wasn't hurt, I would have done the same thing. I would have taken off the gym, but I would have gone back to 27th. I would have gone in the gym the 27th, the 28th, the 29th. I wouldn't have skipped those days. So, when you get into the habit of, well, we could just skip this one. Yeah, we could skip this other one. All of a sudden it becomes days of skipping, weeks of skipping, months of skipping, and that's where you lose it. Consistency is everything. Consistency is the whole thing. There is no magic out there. I know people are dying for the magic pill. They're dying for it. And all these Ozempics and things like this, I get it. They help people lose weight. And if you're obese and you need it, you need it. And I'm not knocking it. Pharmaceuticals are great. I totally believe in that pharmaceuticals have lengthened our lives. But at the same time, you got to help along too. You can't just take the pills and say, hey, I want to get better. Well, you got to work at it. Another comment. Let's take the other comment coming in here. Let's see who's joined us. Hey, there's Robert Thomas. Hey, he's my weather buddy. Robert and I do weather forecasting in the Philadelphia area. And by the way, if you're from the Philadelphia area and an Eagles fan, and Robert, you can probably back me up on this, the GFS model, the American model, is calling for snow during the Eagles game Saturday. So I think it's Saturday, or is it Sunday? One of the 2 days. I can't remember if they're playing Saturday or Sunday this week. But whatever the day was, I saw the possibility of a snowstorm during the game. That would be pretty cool. A playoff game in the snow. That'd be neat to watch. Again, a week out. We've talked about this before. You can't predict a week out what's going to happen. You just kind of wait and see. But there's a signal in the GFS anyway that there's going to be a storm. Now, none of the other models are really showing it. So I wouldn't get my hopes up too much, but pretty cool. Other injuries that I've seen people get. This is probably one of the worst ones that I've seen people get is when they really, and I do this to an extent, but not to a ridiculous extent, overestimate what I can do or what they can do. And if you do it by a little bit, that's all right. That's pushing yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. It's called increasing your dynamic load. And the more you increase your dynamic load, the stronger you're going to get. So when your body gets used to lifting a certain amount of weight, then you add more. You add 5 pounds more, and you just add. It's progressive resistance. You just keep on adding more, and that is very helpful. Now I'm going to start eventually doing some shows, and I'm not going to do it. I promise you to brag or to show off or anything like that. In fact, I'm going to lift weights that are probably going to be 5 to 10 pounds just to show you movements. I don't care about how strong you think I am or how big you think I am. I mean, I'm proud of what I've done. I mean, who wouldn't be, right? I mean, if you've worked at something and you've succeeded, you're proud of it. I'm proud of my business. I've worked at it. I've succeeded at it. There's some things that I've done that I'm not proud of, that I look at and say I failed at that. So we all should give ourselves the grace to be proud of ourselves for certain things. And I am. But the point of it's going to be not to show you, hey, he can lift this much or he can lift that much. The goal is going to be to show you the movements that are going to help you get stronger, that help you get more muscular. For men and women, this is not a man thing. Women can get stronger too. Now, do they have testosterone? Some testosterone, but they don't have the same amount that men do, unless they're taking testosterone. But if they're not, then no, they don't have the same testosterone as men. So generally, men can grow muscle a lot more quickly and a lot bigger than women can. Now, I said generally because there are exceptions. There are some women who are power lifters that uh, have the ability to grow pretty big muscle, even though they don't have the testosterone that others have. But I'll see somebody put, let's say, 400 pounds on the bar to squat. And then I watch them and they do half squats. And when I do some of these videos, I'll show you the wrong way to do them too, because I think you learn a lot by seeing the wrong way. But they'll put 400 pounds in their back, and it's impressive. They got the 4 plates on each side, and the bar's shaking, and they got it on their back, and then they barely bend their knees. They just bend their knees a little bit and stand up, and bend their knees a little bit and stand up. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's not how it works. You got to go, to the grass and up. You got to go up. You got to break 90 degrees with your knees. Now, you don't have to go all the way to the floor. You don't have to sit on the floor, and you don't have to put your butt on your heels. But you got to go down to just past 90 degrees, and then you're good. Then it's a real lift. Or the bench press. When people bench press, another way they get hurt, they put on too much weight. If you bench press 135 pounds, don't put on 205. You're not going to get it. You're never going to get it. I can't tell you how many times I've been at the gym and I've seen people do this, and I had to go over and save them. And to be fair, I ask for spots too when I know that I'm challenging myself. I'm not an idiot. I don't say, well, let me just go ahead and try this alone. So when I go for a heavy lift, I'll ask for a spot. I'll say, listen, I'm not sure I'm going to get this or not. Could you be there just in case? So Dr. Jacalyn just put in a chat here. What are your thoughts about my workout schedule? I work out 7 days a week. I will do pure barre followed by solid core. Today I added a third class and Stairmaster. Honest opinion, probably more than you need. 7 days a week is a lot. But it also depends on how hard you're pushing yourself during each workout too. See, my philosophy for me, and I'm not saying this has got to be for everybody, for me, is I go to failure on every set of every lift. Yeah, Dr. Kerbeck is always pushing. Yeah, she is. She's like-minded. We're like-minded. We think the same way. More is always better, but it's not. It's not always better. We're passionate, sure, but it's not always better because there's a point where you hit a plateau where you can't get any stronger. Where Lee Haney, he was 8-time, I think, Mr. Olympia, and he said, "Stimulate, don't annihilate." Think about those words: stimulate the muscles, but don't annihilate them. Don't destroy them, because if you destroy them, they're not going to work. Got another comment coming in, so let's see what that is. Rachel, I saw Rachel yesterday. So I'm interested in toning up. That's a big one. I want to slim down without getting like a bodybuilder. What's the best reps and repetition? And thanks. Also, how can I get my legs back in skater shape? Yeah, Rachel was with you with her beautiful daughter, Antoinette, last night on the pond. And she's 8 years old, Antoinette, and she was great. It was great skating with her first time on ice. So it's pretty cool. Antoinette, hello to you too. And thanks for joining in as usual. So that's one of the fears that women have a lot. That's a typical thing that women ask a lot. They say, I don't want to get big. You don't have to get big. You know how you get big? You lift heavy and do 1 to 3 reps. That's how you get big. So for me, if I want to get bulky and put on size and power, then I'm going to do my max or whatever I could get 3 times. So for me, in the 300 something area. All right. Now, if I want to just get cut up, I might drop it to 225 pounds. That's considerably less. Think about it. You're talking about like 70 pounds less. All right. Actually, more than that, 80 pounds less. 90, even 90. And now you're 90 pounds under, and now you're lifting for more reps. Well, that's going to get you more cut up. It's not going to give you the same power. The idea is anywhere between 1 to 30 reps. It sounds ridiculous. Between 1 to 30 reps is going to get you more muscular. 1 rep to 3 reps is going to get you bigger, and it's going to build power and bigger muscles with much more power. If you go out to 5 to 7 reps, now you got some power, but you're building some hypertrophy as well. You want it for Rachel in her case. If she doesn't want to bulk up, if she wants to slim down, then weightlifting is perfect for her. But what she wants to do is she wants to do a lot more reps. She wants to stay in the 15 to 20 rep range with a light weight, do it slow. And it's not all cardio either. You know, people think just run, bike, just bike, skate. All you got to do is all those things, sprint, all those things. Now, walking helps. Walking helps. If I remember the numbers right, and I'm doing this off the top of my head, for every pound of fat you have on your body burns, I think it's 3 calories an hour or a day. I can't remember what the number is. And for muscle, it's 50. So it's 3 to 50. Well, I can't remember if it's a day or an hour, whatever it is. I don't remember the exact. I'll look it up and come back to you sometime for it. But there's a dramatic difference between somebody who's got a muscular body and somebody who has a body that has more fat. Now, I've been on both ends of those spectrums. 2.5 years ago, I was very, very heavy. I was 252 pounds of fat, really very little muscle left. But depression did that to me. That was a mental thing. I got depressed. I decided I was done. I didn't care. I didn't want to get in the gym, and I didn't get in the gym. I ate like a pig, and I became fat. I mean, that's just what happened. If people choose to do that, that's their choice. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, if people want to be heavy set, I've heard people say this. I enjoy it. I don't care. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you do care, if you want to be in better shape, if you want to be more muscular, then you don't have a choice. You have to lift those weights. And in Rachel's case, if she wants to trim body fat, which I think a lot of people do, especially women talk to me about that. They're like, I have body fat in one part of the body or another. For women, it's not usually the belly. For men, the belly is the big deal. That's where the body fat is for men. For women, it's usually thighs and hips. And that's just the way we're built as human beings. But for women, what I would say is just stay in the lighter range. Don't go and do 1 to 3 reps with heavy weight. Don't grab 50-pound dumbbells and try to curl them. I mean, unless you want to be a power lifter, if you want to start lifting heavy and do that, that's up to you. But if you're asking me, the bat wing arms, yeah, I know a lot of women struggle with the bat wing arms. You got to work the triceps. That's one of the things that you got to work. My triceps are extremely muscular because I work them hard. I work them really hard. I do skull crushers. I do body weight dips. I do a lot of bench press. I do a lot of incline bench press. So even when I'm doing exercises that work other parts of my body, like my chest, my triceps are getting in on it as well. So it's not like it's just, the tricep exercises. There are other exercises that go into it. Even when I deadlift, when I do a deadlift, I'm not working my triceps, but they're working. They're taking it. They're taking some of that weight. So Dr. Jacalyn just wrote, but the tricep is on the side of my arm. The bat wings, as she calls it, may be related to body mass being high. Yeah, I mean, the higher your body mass, well, let's first say this. Body mass index is a ridiculous way to score someone, whether they're obese or not. I have a body mass index that if you just look at the number, I am obese. My number's 30 point something. I'm obese. There is no way in the world that you would look at me and say that I'm obese. I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to say that I'm, in the greatest shape of anybody on the planet. I'm not saying that at all. But I have stomach muscles. I have a defined chest. I have defined arms. I don't have the bat wings that Dr. Jacalyn's talking about. And yet my body mass index would suggest that I'm obese. When I step on the scale in the morning, it actually says you're obese. It actually comes up as obese across the bottom of the scale. I pay no attention to it at all because it has no idea that I'm 5'9" almost, with a lump on my head. I'm 5'9", 5'8" and 3/4. And I'm 5'9", and I'm 205 pounds. So of course, it just looks at the body weight, just looks at the height, and it says there's your body mass index. It's garbage. How much of it is muscle? How much of it is fat? That's how you can determine whether somebody's obese or not, or somebody's in shape or not. So the body mass index stuff's got to go. That's just a terrible scale on how to figure out. The number on the scale is not the most important thing, and what's the important thing is how you're able to sculpt it. Think of a sculpture. You put more clay. Arnold Schwarzenegger talked about this. You want to build something, you put more clay on that part, right? If you want to build something like a bridge and you want to make part of the trestle thicker, you put more clay. You grind it and you mold it. That's what you're doing to your body. You're putting more clay on. You're molding it. You could do a lot of static exercises. So, I'll give you an example. You could hold a weight up in your hand like this while you're curling with the other hand, and then switch. Hold this hand up and curl with this one, and come up and down, so that you have tension on the muscle, dynamic tension going on the muscle at all times. That's an option. You will lose fat if you lift weights. If you just do cardio, you're probably not going to lose a lot of fat. You'll lose some, but you'll also lose muscle. And that's the rub. I mean, a lot of people think, oh, well, Justin must have turned his fat into muscle. No, it doesn't work like that. I can't turn a car into a plane. They're two different things, right? I can't turn a lamp into a microwave. That doesn't work. They're two different things. They're electrical, but they're two different things. Fat is fat, muscle is muscle. You can't take fat and say, well, now I will make this muscle. You have to lose the fat and build the muscle. That's the key. And that's what people don't get. They say, I'm going to turn my fat into muscle. That can't happen. It can't happen. We got another comment coming up. Let's see what this comment is. Let's take a look. Right, a boxing match in the works. Oh, all right. I box. I don't box actually spar because I can't afford to have my face busted up and go to work and have black eyes and bloody noses and all that kind of stuff. But for the job that I do, but I do virtually box, and I hit the heavy bag a lot. I spend a lot of time on the heavy bag that builds power, a lot of stamina, and I virtually box with the Oculus, which I pointed out to a friend of mine yesterday, Maria, a friend of mine who actually boxes. She doesn't spar, but she punches the gloves in the ring. And I told her the Oculus is a great tool for it, and that was part of my weight loss too. What about your skin when you lose weight, especially after 50? This becomes a problem, as Dr. Jacalyn just pointed out. If you were obese with a lot of fat, now, luckily for me, I wasn't super fat. I was 252 pounds, mainly fat. If I showed the picture before, I don't have time to show it tonight, but I'm not afraid to show it. I'll show it. But I didn't have that much skin that I had to worry about the fat loss causing skin to droop. Unfortunately, if you're 350, 400, 450 or more, there's skin that's going to stretch, and that you're not going to lose. You're going to lose the fat underneath it, but it's going to roll over. You're going to need surgery to have that taken off. I wish I could give you better news about that. I wish there was something I could tell you, like just do this and it would be fine. It doesn't work that way with skin. Unfortunately, once skin stretches the way it does when you're morbidly obese, it's impossible to get the skin back. It's just you need it trimmed. You have to have it cut off. Like I said, I got lucky. I didn't get quite to that size. Now, if you were to look at my shoulders, and I'll show it sometime, I have stretch marks from muscle growth from when I was a kid. I got that when I was 17. So when I was 17, they look like scars. They look like stab wounds on my shoulders because I grew muscle so fast. I went from being a string bean, from barely being able to lift anything and being just a scrawny little guy to being pretty jacked up. Well, the muscles grew so fast that the skin had to stretch. So my skin doesn't droop, but it's stretched. So if you ever look at my shoulders, you'll see that I have stretch marks on both sides, and they even go around the back too. So I call them a badge of honor. Do I wish I could get rid of them? Sure, but what are you going to do? It was the price that I paid for growing too quick. If I did it at a slower pace, then maybe it wouldn't happen, but it did what it did. Unbelievably, we're at the 40-minute mark. So I want to thank all of you who called in. Oh, wait, we got another question for Dr. Jacalyn. Let's say, what is better, being a little heavier or thinner with sagging skin? That's a personal decision, Dr. Jacalyn, I would say. I honestly would say that's up to you. If it were me and I had a lot of sagging skin, I would probably try to put on a little weight and with muscle, not fat. I would try to put on some muscle weight. So I would probably drop my reps a little bit. So if I was doing, let's say, benching 225, at one time I could bench that for 21 reps. I would then probably put on like 280 and do that for 11 reps, something like that, just to give you an idea of what I've done. So I just cut my reps by 10, but I raised the weight by 60 pounds. So that's what I would do. And that helped me put on some weight. And it also helped me get thicker. So without getting fat. So it's really a tough choice about the skin. How important is cardio? It can break down the muscle. Absolutely. Here's one of the big problems with cardio. It's a muscle killer. It is a muscle killer. So you gotta, if you're gonna do a lot of cardio, if you really want a lot of cardio, but you want to be muscular, what you gotta do? You gotta eat. You gotta raise your caloric intake, and it's got to be a lot of protein and a decent amount of carbs and lower end on the fats. But you got to load up on protein. Like you can't, if you're eating 2,500 calories a day and you're going to the gym and you're running on the treadmill for 2 hours and you're doing barre like Dr. Jacalyn does, and you're doing spin and you're doing all these other things, and you burn 3,000 calories that day, because you burn probably like 2,000 calories anyway, just being alive, for your heart to beat, for your brain to work, for your liver to work, for your lungs to work. You're burning calories just doing that. That takes about 2,000 calories. And for me, I was measured at 1,850. So everything you eat above that. So if you burn up more calories than you put in, you are never going to get more muscular. It's never going to happen. You cannot put on muscle in a severe caloric deficit. You got to be in at least breaking even, if not in a slight caloric surplus. So I would say up the calories a little bit, get up to like, instead of 2,000 calories or whatever you're eating, or 2,500, go up to 3,000 or 3,500. Still do the cardio for the heart and everything else, but get the weightlifting in, because that's what builds the muscle. Cardio, if you do it too much, will absolutely kill muscle growth. There's no doubt about it. Science says it. It's not me telling you, it's science. So Dr. Jack says 3 meals a day or 6 meals a day. That is up for debate. The research on that is a little iffy. So the generic rule of thumb was, when I started, was that 30 grams of protein was all that your body could take at one sitting. So if you ate 40 grams of protein, you wasted 10. 30 of it you used in your body to grow muscle, and 10 of it you just got rid of, you excreted. And now they're saying there is no wasted protein. So cavemen, if you go back to cavemen days, they would go out and hunt. Now, they didn't eat 3 meals a day. They ate what they hunted. So they would hunt on, let's say, and I'm sure they didn't have calendars and days of the week, but let's go with days of the week. One day on a Monday, let's say it is, they ate 500 grams of protein that day. And then they didn't eat again until Thursday. Well, that 500 grams of protein still was working in their body. It's not like the protein was like, well, you ate too much at once, can't use it. Sorry, going to get rid of it. You'll eventually use it. So the thinking of the past was that the body could only allow itself to use 30 grams of protein in a sitting. And I'm telling you that it's not. I probably stick to 30. I'm sorry, to 50 to 70 a sitting, and sometimes I'll just drop back and do a couple 30s. But the idea of the meals a day, it's not so much how many meals you eat a day; it's how many calories you get in you. If you want to stay full and satiated, you probably do want to go more to the 6 meals a day because then you can space them out better. I eat every 3 hours or so. So I get up in the morning now and I eat. And then I have a protein shake with oatmeal. So I get my carbs and my protein. And by the way, do it together because the carbs spike your insulin. When your insulin spikes, the protein is synthesized much better. If you take the protein without spiking the insulin, then the protein is not synthesized as well. It's still synthesized, just not as well. So I eat the carbs, spike the insulin, and then take the protein. That's why some bodybuilders make this foolish mistake where they take insulin in a shot like a diabetic. And what happens is they become a diabetic eventually because they're unnaturally putting insulin in their body. So don't be stupid. Hey, look, if it's going to make you $1 million and you think it's worth it, do it. That's up to you. But if you're doing it because you just want to look good on the beach or you want to impress a girl or you want to do this, that's a stupid reason to do that. There's no. So yeah, we hit the 45-minute mark. I don't want to go too far over our time, but I want to thank everybody for weighing in, Dr. Jacalyn and Thomas and Rachel and Antoinette and everybody else who is watching around the world from the United States to the United Kingdom and beyond. We really appreciate you joining in. And let's go Eagles. I'm going to wear this stuff until the Eagles are out. So hopefully I wear this right through the Super Bowl. And then the week afterwards, we wear it to celebrate a Super Bowl victory. Now, before we go, last thing. We're going to have our charity event, the NHL Celebrity Hockey Game coming up. And that will be on August 23rd, 2025. 2-hour open bar. Names that will be there, or hopefully be there. Because remember, people's schedules can change. I have that in here. So I'm just being honest. But right now, we have Mark Recchi, Brian Pratt, Rod Brindamore. You can see the names there. Kevin Deneen, Chris Terrian, Doug Crossman, Todd Fedoruk, all these great players. Joe Conklin going to do a set of comedy. If you're in the Philadelphia area, you know who he is. Rolf Venershka sent me a beautiful email the other day just to let me know he was thinking of me because he knew, I've been going through a rough time over the last few months. Former NFL All-Pro kicker. Man, here's a guy, the night before I had my surgery, is telling me, you're going to be okay, kid. And I said, I'm going to meet this guy. We're going to be friends one day, and we're like brothers. He's just an incredible person. So come out. Ed Bernstein, unfortunately lost his daughter to Crohn's disease. I love Ed. Ed's a great guy. He's been very helpful to me and has always been in my corner since I met him. So come out. We're going to have, again, open bar. You eat with the athletes. They're going to, all the dignitaries that are going to be there, the players, the other celebrities. They're going to eat with you, have a beer with you, sign autographs, music. It's going to be outside, some of it, because it's going to be in August. Come on. So I say it every week. I want 700 people in that restaurant. 700 hugs I want that night. And then at the rink, 1,000 people to fit. I want 1,000 hugs at that rink. So you got to come out. You got to help us. All right. So let's watch this vignette. You'll see what it's like, except now it's going to be even better than ever.
Hey everybody, I just want to tell you how thankful I am that you came out tonight and helped us out on a very special evening. Crohn's and colitis are terrible diseases and they affect a lot of people, not only in the Delaware Valley, but all over the world. And hopefully we can find a cure someday.
fun here with you at the Checkmates versus the Flyers alumni. We had a great time this afternoon. Game was close, and we're all here for Checkmates Charities, which is the real reason that everybody's here, not only the players, but all the fans that were here. It was a great day, and we're really happy to be here.
It was fun to be out here at the Northeast Skate Zone because the Checos were a pretty good team, and so we had a lot of fun with the charity.
And it was good because they took it easy on us old guys. So we had a good time. So anytime you can do something for charity, and I know a couple guys on the other team, and just to be on the rink, we all go have fun.
Good times go. I'm either gone in an instant or here to the bitter, and I never know what I've got.
I want to thank my family for all that they did to help me get through this, and there's a lot of planning that get done. It has to get done. I want to thank Nick's Roast Beef and Common Avenue for all they've done. Dr. Prieto for saving my life, finding the disease and treating me for so long, and the Flyers organization for all they do to help us raise money every year. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
So, baby, you ready to go? August 23rd, 2025? Let's do it. And by the way, just a quick note. I know we're running over. I just want to real quick say this. In that video, I was powerlifting at the time. I wasn't bodybuilding. I was powerlifting. I was 240 pounds in that video. So you can see how big my face was. You can see how big my body was. I had bigger muscles, but they weren't as defined. It was just bigger, and I was stronger then. But I sacrificed strength for aesthetics because I didn't need to hold on to 240 pounds. Right now I'm 200 even. So just a note, that makes a difference. You know, do I wish I was benching 380 again? 385? Yeah, I wanted to bench 400. I don't think I'll ever get there now because I'm too small. But I'd rather have the health and the cardio, and what is important is to be in shape, and I sacrifice it. So just know, in that video, I was 240 pounds. So that's why you could see it's a decision. You have to make a decision. All right, everybody. Thank you for your time tonight. And I can't wait to see you next week. Have a great week.
In a world full of noise, misunderstandings, and interruptions, master the art of listening with Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck is the listening mentor of USA Global TV and Radio, and the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening. Elevate your listening. Elevate your life. Join a global learning experience in person or via Zoom. Reserve your spot today. usaglobaltv.com/book-your-session or drjacalyn.thinkific.com. Join Dr. Kerbeck's listening courses or hire her to unlock deeper connections and authentic conversations.
Get ready for Talking Heads, the show where expert insights meet world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Brought to you by USA Global TV and Radio. Meet our distinguished presenters. From the great state of Texas, longevity expert, award-winning author, publisher, and distinguished Toastmaster, Red O'Loughlin. From London, England, soul heart awakener, novelist, vocal coach, and artist, Dr. Madeline Chan. Also from England, the Harley Street stress expert, therapist, ambassador for peace, and speaker, Carolyn Heward. And from Australia, ICF PCC credentialed coach, entrepreneur, and leadership coach, Mariska Dupria. Experience their expertise, connect with their wisdom, and transform your perspective. Watch Talking Heads on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. This video and its contents are the property of USA Global TV and Radio. All rights reserved. Terms and conditions apply. Visit usaglobaltv.com for more details.
We face daily cyber risks, spending over 7 hours of screen time, including 4.5 hours on mobile phones. This convenience comes with significant dangers, with cybercrime costs predicted to exceed $10.5 trillion by 2025. In 2023 alone, seniors lost over $3.4 billion to cybercrime. Our goal is to make social engineering concepts of cybersecurity easier to understand. We work with business teams, senior living facilities, investment companies, and educational institutions, both individually and in groups. We offer real-life examples to help you recognize and prevent attacks, with sessions available both in person, in selected regions, and remotely. Schedule your training session, or to learn more, contact us today. Call us at 847-845-9360. Email us at info@cybersecurityeasy.com. Protect your team and family with cybersecurityeasy.com.
5 little-known secrets for dementia caregivers with Tracy Cram-Perkins.
Hi there, I am Tracy Cram-Perkins, the host of the Dementia Home Care Show here on USA Global TV and Radio. I am also the author of the book of the same name. And you'll see this QR code. This is for an extended version of the same talk. So if you want to see the full hour-long version, feel free to scan the code and go to that website. Stick with me. We'll talk about 5 little-known secrets to make it a little easier to do dementia caregiving. What you're seeing on the left-hand side is a healthy aged brain, age 55 and above. The one you're seeing on the right is an Alzheimer's disease brain. It is in moderate disease. It is shrinking. It has holes in it. The memories that were in those holes no longer exist. When you're learning something, let's say in kindergarten, you learn how to tie your shoelace. Well, then by the time you're in 2nd grade, your brain remembers that information from tying the shoelace and applies it so you can learn more quickly how to tie more complex knots. So the brain is hardwired to do this for us, so it helps us learn faster so it doesn't take us long to acquire knowledge. The brain is looking for the information and they pick the closest to wherever that hole is. Let's look at some tips that we can use to help do that.
These are 5 simple tools you can use as a dementia caregiver to help your loved one. The whiteboard is a useful tool in recording the day's activities and the answers to repetitive questions. The calendar clock is a very useful tool to orient your loved one on the day, the date, and the time, and remind them of upcoming appointments. The communication cards are a great tool to bridge the gap when they can no longer tell you what's wrong. And then there's the pill minder, for when your loved one is still able to take pills but needs prompting. The final tool I want to share with you is the memory book. It tells your loved one's story. It's a great tool for distraction, redirection, also as a conversation starter, and telling you where they are in their story so you know how to answer their questions. Music is probably the most powerful tool in your toolbox after laughter. Music is a way to maintain connection. It sticks with your brain longer than any other thing, including reading. When you're having an issue with somebody, you can play their favorite music if you move them to another room, something that makes them happy, or you can start singing songs together from their childhood. These are some of my favorite books for caregivers. My show airs on the 3rd Tuesday of every month, and you can view past episodes on YouTube. Thank you, everyone.
This program has been brought to you in part by Tracy Cram-Perkins. Connect with her and order her book at tracycramperkins.com. For more information about Alzheimer's disease, support resources, and how you can help, contact the Alzheimer's Association at 1-800-272-3900 or visit their website at www.alz.org. They offer 24/7 helpline support and a wealth of information to assist you and your loved ones.